Take advantage of the Boxing King Media discount at BYD Sheffield. You can get this amazing car for £269 per month with a £269 deposit. Details in the description.
Boxing King Media powered by BYD. Ben, Shalom, we're back here at the Box Park. It's like your second home now, isn't it, for press conferences and events?
Yeah, no, especially for Adam AZIM, it's great to be back at Wembley. You know, he grew up very close to here. It means a lot to us. This is where the journey started. This is where the journey continues, and this really is a fantastic fight against Sergey. Sergey took the fight, but you know, was absolutely adamant that the future had to be involved in the deal, and you don't get that very often unless you're dealing with an extremely confident fighter. So him, his management, credit to them. It's a tough fight for both of them, it really is, and massive step up, and hopefully can make a big statement on the world stage.
You know, before I come to that, you know, you had some issues a few weeks ago, fighters pulling out. You had to kind of pull this card together. So talking away from Callum Simpson and the guys that you got on the card last minute, what were the names you were looking at? Like, did you speak to a few people? Yeah,
we did, but trying to get high-level fighters in a ring on 3 weeks' notice because you've had two major fights pull out is difficult. And so Scott Forrest and Callum Simpson were fight ready. They had big knockouts in their last fight, did extremely well and wanted to go again. And they're delighted. They're loving the activity. They're loving the spotlight. Callum Simpson is absolutely on fire right now. Went into a 50-50 fight, really considered by many with Steed, and absolutely blew him away. And that's allowed him to be in great condition for now and defends his Commonwealth title against a very colourful and very dangerously confident Elvis Agora, who's got a great knockout power. And Scott Forrest has accepted what many people see as a 50-50 fight against Aurel Ignat, who trains with Martin Bowers. 7 knockouts out of 8 fights, out of 8 wins. It's a real 50-50 fight. So credit to them, because there's not many fighters that will sacrifice their own preparation. And they've come in, and it's allowed all the fighters get them in opportunities. The Jamie TKVs against Michael Webster in a big opportunity for him in this heavyweight fight. Lucas Rowerig and Joel Kadua, who have waited for their opportunities for a long time. So Garen Croft, who makes his debut, very, very well thought about talent from GB. Lucas Rowerig with George Groves' talent, who gets this huge opportunity and is so well talked about. And so, you know, credit to Callum and Scott, because this huge main event needed them really after 2 big pullouts so close to a show. And now we have a great show, but we have a massive career-defining main event for Adam AZIM.
You do, and you know, potentially you could nearly have issues with that. I was listening on the commentary saying that you had visa issues. So just kind of explain, like, on these things that like done months and months beforehand, you know, what went wrong? Yeah,
no, the problem is more where Sergey is from, and obviously the Russian background and things like that. It's very difficult at the moment to do any business with Russian athletes and Russian fighters. And in the end, you know, we were on the phone to Sadiq Khan's office. You know, it got that to that level. It was always going to get here. It was just frustrating how, you know, months really of processes and things like that. And yeah, delighted that we have a fight. It all gets sorted, and he's
plan B, because I'm guessing at this short notice you would have had the plan B.
We would, but again, it wouldn't have been what we want, and yeah, it would have been an absolute disaster. Let's be honest. We've had 2 massive fights pulled out. We've got a big main event, and that's what this event is about. So yeah, I don't want to think about replacements or opponents. We've got the fight that we want. We've got the guy that we want. We've got an extremely motivated Sergey Lipnets. It should be a great fight.
You know, just talking about Lipnets, I was looking at his credentials earlier. His 3 losses, 2 against world champions, and you know, he took Jaron Ennis only about 2 and a bit years ago, 6 rounds, and there's not many people have even done 6 rounds with Jaron, who naturally is a bigger guy as well. So I know he's had a bit of stick, people saying he's old and he's past it, but he's coming in on the back end of a good win. Does it frustrate you? Like, does it frustrate you?
He's old and he's past it.
Your new best mate.
Yeah, exactly. How can Dalton Smith fight an opponent like that, and then he comes at Sergey Lipnets? Sergey Lipnets would eat him for breakfast. You know, it's just ridiculous. This guy is a serious test.
What did you kind of make of that? Obviously, Eddie reacted to the Dalton's win at the weekend, and I think one of the things he said was Adam's car crash TV. I don't know if that was because of his tweets or what, but what would you make of all that?
Eddie's an unbelievable promoter, but his biggest skill is distracting from his own issues. It's unbelievable. Dalton Smith have just fought at 28 years old. Just fought. I'll be honest, I hadn't even heard of him. I hadn't even looked at him. I know you can talk about the European. Adam won the European, was the fastest man to ever win a European title, so it's not about that. I like Eddie. We're getting on. We've got a great, big fights to look forward to, but he's a master of distraction. And the fact is, every time Dalton Smith fights, it's almost an Adam AZIM promotion. Is there nothing else?
Yeah, I think, to be fair, I think we're all kind of building it up, and eventually when they both get paid stupid amounts of money, they'll look back and thank us for all this talking that we've been doing. But some of the things that Eddie mentioned, I think it's only fair that you give your version of events. You know, he said that, you know, there was an opportunity for him to fight in the Wembley show, the Tottenham Hotspur show, and apparently you gave some names that were rejected. Tell me the names that you gave. Can you tell us?
I'll tell you what happened. He's unbelievable, you know. I said it to him. I think every time I see something that he says, I say to him, and he laughs or he puts like a face with sunglasses on or whatever. Montana Love was the fight that we provisionally agreed, which is difficult to do. Yeah, but it's difficult to do when you've got Sergey Lipnets around the corner. So it's quite hard on the training team. It's not really fair on the fighter as well. You get them to sign fights. He's fighting a former world champion on Saturday night. So he sort of like said, right, that'll be okay, because this was weeks ago. Then we got told, believe it or not, Montana Love doesn't want the fight, or couldn't get it over the line.
Eddie didn't clearly explain what happened. Did he want more money, Montana, or was it Adam that wanted more money?
Who knows? Who knows? We get told what you get told. So we're there like, right, okay, so we've agreed to this fight. It was a bit on short notice anyway. Credit to Adam for doing it, because we have Ramadan, he has Ramadan, and he respects that massively, and so he'll be fasting all the way up until, I think you might know, end of March, 1st of April is Eid. Know my stuff. So, and then a fight 4 weeks later. So we were all right doing Montana Love, which is the most ridiculous thing. I couldn't believe, like, we all got comfortable.
You say Montana Love like it's an easy fight. That's a hard fight.
Correct. So then when it's pulled, or, you know, oh, sorry, that's not, and then they just start throwing random names at you, which is almost like going backwards. Some of the names that have been mentioned are like complete rear view mirror for Adam AZIM. He's fighting a former world champion on Saturday night. I'm not getting his signing fights and on fight week and this and that. He knows it. It's just all look. He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable, and I'm seeing it now because we're working together. The reality and then the interviews it's unbelievable spin, and it's been unbelievable, and I rate him for it. But it is what it is, and I think everyone can see that. Yeah, go on.
He said that the names that you gave were rejected. Obviously, the names weren't mentioned, but it makes it look quite bad. So are you able to tell us who these names were?
No,
maybe one?
Not really. The reality was, we agreed a fight for a certain amount of money. They pulled out their side, and then we're trying to find names, scramble around names. Whilst Adam's got a fight in 2 weeks, you can't. We tried. But you can't be signing contracts and getting fighters to do that 2 weeks out from their own fight. What happens on Saturday night if he loses? It's completely possible that he does when you're taking this level of risk. We got big fights. We're not going to accept opponents that are step back, and that's no disrespect to we want to build. We want international. We want to win world titles. We're fighting for the IBO world title on Saturday night. We're fighting against a former world champion. We're fighting for more money on Saturday night than was offered on that card. You know, so context has to be given. If I offer you a fight, if I offer one of Eddie's fights a fight, do you want to fight X person? And yeah, it's going to be less than what you earned last time, and it's a step down. And I know he's got a fight in 2 weeks' notice. Anyone can do that. It's just games. But as I say, he's extremely good at it. And yeah, as I say, he's got away with one with Dalton Smith's opponent last week, and fair enough, fair play.
Well, mentioning Pierce O'Leary and Sean McComb, they're hard fights, and I'll be honest, probably harder fights than Sergey Lipinets, both of them two.
Look, you can't. Look, they're still behind Adam Azim, and you can't agree fights 10 days, 2 weeks before another fight. You say the harder fights, I'm not sure. But you say the harder fights, I'm not sure. I don't think you've got any evidence to say that.
Sean McComb, a lot of people think he beat the guy that Jack Hattrell's fighting. A lot of people's consensus, he got robbed in that fight. And then Pierce O'Leary's getting viral knockouts after viral knockouts.
I understand that, but how can you be landing up with opponents? I don't want to
fight in your corner. I'm saying
we've got a fight on Saturday night. Yeah. Ramadan finishes on April 1st. We're talking about a fight on April 26th against names that are being pulled out of nowhere for money that's less than he's earning on Saturday night.
That's the point I'm raising. Harder fights, if you're saying it's less money as well, at 4 weeks, it don't really make sense, and that's quite a fair point. But one of the things I'm going to raise is that we see a lot of people like downgrading Adam Azim's and Dalton's opponents. Dalton's biggest name has been Jose Zepeda, and I saw a lot of people saying, he was past it, but he came to win that fight. And I feel like Lipinets is probably the same sort of level as Zepeda, as in previous credentials and same type of level of fight.
I think he's better. I think he's still got a lot more left. I think he's shown no signs that he just come through a great win. He's lost only to the very, very, very best, and has some major wins on his record. Former world champion, fit, strong, from the part of the world where they age slower, and is ready to go. And as I say, he doesn't think so. He thinks this is his big opportunity. And if Adam Azim hadn't performed so well against Ahara Davis, we would not be fighting Sergey Lipinets, and I'm happy to hold my hands up to that. This is a really tough fight, and he should get a huge amount of credit, and fans should be looking forward to it, because this is a real fight.
I just hope, I just wish we lived in a time where people in boxing maybe praise like Dalton and Adam for the fights they're taking with the limited experience they've got, rather than maybe just belittling their opponents. And that's for both of them.
I know, so you are right. And to be fair, I like Dalton Smith. We've got nothing to do with it. This is all the promoters, let's be honest. Adam and Dalton are nice kids that they just love to box, and they just want to get on with their careers. I think both of them fancy it, and they're both great fighters. But from an Adam Azim perspective, yeah, you got a 22-year-old kid here headlining consistently on Sky Sports, going through the levels. For me, one of the hottest prospects in the whole of British boxing. Get behind him. Don't question the journey along the way. Most fighters at 22 years old are still in the amateur system, are messing around. This guy's a seasoned pro now, moving extremely quickly, and we should be extremely proud of him. Born 10-15 minutes from Wembley Arena, headlining a show like this, taking on all that pressure. We should be, in any other sport, he'd be celebrated, and and everyone would be behind him. The whole country should be behind Adam Azim. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury are coming towards the end of their career. Who are the future stars of this sport? Adam Azim has to be near the top of that list. Get behind him, and let's see what he can do. And yeah, fantastic guy, but a huge fight, a huge test.
Indeed. And moving on, last thing, Ben Whittaker, what is the latest? It's the most boring question in boxing right now.
We should have some good news in the next week or so. Things have calmed down.
Last week.
Things have calmed down. The fight, unless there's a complete change of heart on the other side, it's been said to us that they're ready to go. And so let's hope that we can announce extremely soon. We'll let him talk about it, but it's new setup, new trainer, and we had to get all that in line, and I'm looking forward to it. For me, the most talked about fighter in British boxing, particularly outside the heavyweight division, and the noise has just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I think the numbers that are going to surround him, this is a making of a man. Can you handle it? Because there's going to be a lot of pressure and a lot of media interest in Ben Whittaker when he comes back, and I can't wait.
Does he beat Callum Simpson?
You dickhead. Different weight divisions. Both.
So Callum's eyes raise up.
Both future world champions.
Just putting you on the spot. But yeah,
You hear what he said?
I know, that's why I said it.
Do you hear what he said? Oh, no, don't.
Asked if Ben Whittaker beats you.
What?
That's not a serious question, is it?
Yeah.
It's not a serious
Just putting Ben on the spot, but yeah, appreciate your time, Ben, and yeah, look forward to this week. Should be a good fight week.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
It's not about motivation. Winners need discipline. Wake up and win today. Discipline comes from within.